வந்து க்ரூஸ்குள்ளே என்ட்ரி வரோம். The cruise. Cruise. எல்லாரும் க்ரூஸில் வந்து என்ட்ரி ஆகிறோம். ஸ்மால் வியூ எழுதியா க்ரூஸில் என்ட்ரி ஆகிறோம்.
ஃபோட்டோ இங்கே நில்லுங்க.
Hello, bro. Cannot stop there.
Next.
Wait. Cannot stop.
ஓகே, பின்னாடி போயிடுவாங்க. பின்னாடி ஓப்பன்ல entered inside the cruise. யாரு எல்லாரும் இருந்தாச்சு. ஃப்ரெண்ட் போட்டில் எல்லாரும் ஏறியாச்சு. இப்போ ரவுண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆக போகுது. ட்ரிப் இது ஒரு கேனல். அந்த கேனலில் ஒரு அட்வென்ச்சர் ஜேர்னி. பேஸ் அசிங்கமாக இருக்குது. It's not fiber, it's wooden board. Moving started.
Hello and a very warm welcome aboard. Crusie was constructed in Shanghai Commerce, Singapore. Hundreds of Shanghai
Sailing.
balanced terms for place to dock and unload their cargoes, human or otherwise, from the great ship anchored at the harbor. Tons of goods and produce were stored at the go-downs or warehouses by the river, which are those buildings you see along the river bank.
Sailing.
One of the buildings here was Whampoa's Ice House, which belonged to two artists.
Sailing in Singapore Canal.
Way before refrigerants existed, we noticed the demand for ice in our hot tropical weather and had blocks of ice hauled from frozen lakes in America all the way here to Singapore. Unfortunately, this ice venture failed because expenses were simply too high. But much respect to the imaginative Mr. Hu for his daring attempt to keep Singaporeans cool. Today, Singaporeans keep cool by sipping drinks al fresco by the river. As you can see, Clarke Quay has been transformed into a different but no less bustling port of call. Everyone flocks here for food, fun, and riverside festivals. You may notice another bridge here. This one's called Reed Bridge, and it was seen yet another symbol of bringing people together. From the 1940s to the 1960s, this bridge was a popular place for storytellers to gather and xiang ku, or shuoshu, which means talking about the past or talking about books. Street hawkers, warehouse laborers, and others from the largely Teochew Chinese community would gather here nightly to be entertained. The storyteller would start by talking about the day's news and continue with riveting classic tales from ancient China. Each episode would last the duration of a burning joss stick, and the audience would pay just 1 cent in the 1940s and just 5 cents in the 1960s.
ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ ഫെസ്റ്റ് അവിടെ നടക്കുന്നില്ല
was another popular form of entertainment back then, and there were two CO2 opera theaters here. In the 1950s, admission to our entire performance was just $50. But some factors could only pay $5 just to catch the last 10 minutes, which was the most exciting part of the show. Some might say this opportunistic spirit of frugalness endured amongst the most cunning of Singaporean businessmen centuries. During festivals and religious events, the opera performances would be staged outdoors for all to enjoy free of charge.
திரும்பி இங்கே வந்துட்டு அவ்வளோதானா
அவ்வளோதான் இல்லை வரல
இதுதான் ஏறணும்.
The area to your right used to be the site of Riverside Village, a gold-encrusted squatters' colony which housed the seedy underbelly of opium dens, brothels, and secret societies. Addicts, ladies of the night, and gangsters jostled for space in this once dangerous and mysterious place. But today, the building Riverside Point sits on the historical foundation of that notorious village. No longer dangerous and seedy, but a delightful waterfront dining oasis that boasts its very own microbrewery. Perhaps you'd like to return by foot to explore all these fun possibilities. Did you know that the paths along the Singapore River make up one continuous looping promenade that connects everything you see along the riverbank? Take a leisurely stroll and soak in the atmosphere along the 6-kilometer promenade that flanks both sides of the river. As you take in the sights and sounds, you'll be comfortably shaded by lush greenery and definitely tempted by the many shops and cafes along the way. Look across the river and up to your left. See the lush green hill and the large tower overlooking Clarke Quay and the river? That is Fort Canning Hill, where Raffles built his own bungalow, Singapore's first government house. He also planted a spice garden, Singapore's first experimental botanic garden, to cultivate commercially important spices. The hill was later used by the British as an arms force, barracks, and hospital, which probably led to its final name, Fort Canning. But way before the British arrived on our shores, Fort Canning was the place where ancient Malayan royalty once lived and remained to rest. It was considered so sacred that it was known as Forbidden Hill. Forbidden because foreigners were not allowed to visit. Of course, all the
Very nice
are most welcome to
to
visit
see
Fort
this.
Canning and to see the old British underground bunkers. And if you're really brave-hearted, explore the ancient gravestones that still remain on its chosen hill. Now here's a building that just begs for attention. See the one adorned with colorful windows on your left? Home to the Ministry of Information, Communications and the Arts, it's multi-use cultural heritage, but also hints at the building's equally colorful past. Can you believe that this rainbow-slash-complex used to be the old Crusie police station? It's once considered a skyscraper. That was before World War II. The old Crusie police station served as Singapore's earliest secure jail. And during World War II, it was even believed to have been a torture chamber. With such a vivid history, it's certainly no wonder the building was named a national monument in 1995.
Traveling under the bridge. Parliament. Singapore Parliament.